Hey guys, it's Kelly Hodges, dietitian. Just a quick little video, or hopefully quick, maybe about 5 minutes or so. I'm just going to answer a few questions that I've been asked in regards to my little baby's nutrition. So Charles is now 18, 19 months old, and I just keep getting questions about his nutrition. What am I feeding him? How do I approach certain situations? All the rest of it. So I've just written out 5 of the most common ones, and if you have any other questions that you'd like me to touch on another time, I'm more than happy to do so. But I guess these are common questions which can be quite applicable to everybody. And I will just start by saying, yes, I am a dietitian, but no, I'm not a pediatric dietitian. And so when it comes to kids nutrition, before I had Charles, I definitely don't have experience with kids nutrition, so I'm learning as I'm going. And so what I'm doing with Charles doesn't mean that it's necessarily what's right for your family. And so that's really important to keep that in mind. So what I'm doing is I'm learning, just like most other mums are learning as well. And I guess being a dietitian, I've just got that background knowledge of what are the macronutrients in food and how to optimize it. So guys, let's just get into it. So first of all, what do you feed Charles for breakfast? Okay, so this is a cool one. So for us, we generally have an egg-based breakfast. So that can come in any form. It can be boiled eggs. This morning was boiled eggs. Scoffs them, loves them. And we give him a little knife to cut with as well, a kid's knife. Otherwise, it could be scrambled eggs where we put in lots of butter, actually. Maybe I'll put in some zucchini or capsicum, fry that up with the butter, and then do the scrambled eggs on top. The last option with the egg base is pretty much always eggs, is banana pancakes, and that's an absolute hit in our house. And that's where you've got to some degree like 1 banana, 2 eggs, and about 1/4 to 1/2 cup of almond meal. Otherwise, we'll use flax meal or walnut meal as well. So we'll literally just get our own almonds, own walnuts, and blend them down and use that as the flour in there. Mix that all together and then just fry them up as pancakes, fry them in butter. And when I serve them hot with butter melted on top. So what do I feed Charles? Eggs for brekkie pretty much every morning. So some people will go, oh my gosh, how could you do that? How could you just feed him eggs all the time? But egg is such a nutritious food. I've got no concerns in regards to is he missing out on nutrients or could he be getting something better. Eggs are absolutely wonderful. They come in different forms, and yeah, so that's what we're feeding Charles. Second question, do you feed Charles low carb? And if so, is it not dangerous for the kids? Awesome question, thank you so much. So do you feed Charles low carb? No. So I don't specifically have in my mind, okay, my kid needs to eat a low carbohydrate diet. What I do have in my mind is my kid needs to eat real food that nature has provided. Consequently, most real food does tend to be lower in carbohydrates than a standard Western approach. And I guess the standard Western approach is where you're making more use of things like your breads or your cereals or pastas or whatever. So we don't have much of that. Charles has no cereals. So he doesn't have those foods. He's got real foods in his diet. So he's got lots of meat, nuts, eggs, lots of good healthy fats, lots of veggies, lots and lots of veggies. He's got some fruit in there, so when it's a low carb, no, he's not necessarily low carb. Some days, like if you look at the little lunchbox pictures that I do, you can see some days it's like corn, peas, banana pancakes, some fruit, and so all of those are carbohydrate based. And so no, he's not low carbohydrate. In regards to is low carb dangerous for children? No, I wouldn't say so. And I guess this comes back to are you feeding them real food? If you're feeding them real food, then no, it's not going to be dangerous. If you are, however, going from a different approach where you're saying, no, you can't eat this because that's got too many carbs and this has too many carbs, and no, you can't eat this, and you're kind of creating that fear in them as opposed to just teaching them to eat what's real and what nature intended, then yes, it can have a detrimental effect longer term in regards to disordered eating. So I guess it comes down to the approach that you go with. Charles would be a lower carbohydrate baby, so lower carbs than a standard Western approach, but it's not something that we're consciously thinking about and enforcing. We're just going from a nice casual, just eat real food approach, and so it's a really positive mindset. So I hope that answers that question. Third question, it looks like Charles eats so many different types of food, especially vegetables. How do I get my son to do the same? Awesome. Wouldn't we all love to know that? First of all, sometimes Charles eats awesome, and other days he won't eat very much at all, and that's fine. And so I pretty much put all of my trust into Charles when it comes to his food and what he's eating, and I know that he will eat when he's hungry and he'll stop when he's full. And if only adults could do that as well, but we kind of override ourselves and we go, no, even though I'm full, I'm still going to eat this chocolate. But yeah, anyway, with little children, they'll eat when they're hungry, they'll stop when they're full. It was on Kids Dig Food. If you don't follow them already, definitely worth your while, where they spoke about gathering nutrients. So kids will gather their nutrients, and so if you provide your meals, and let's say for a few days your little one's only going for the meat and they're just not having veggies, you may find they'll be stocking up on the meat or stocking up, I don't know, if they're having cheese, whatever it is, but then maybe about a week later or so, they will start eating the veggies. So they'll just gather their nutrients. So they may have not much in one meal, but then lots in the next meal. So anyway, read Kids Dig Food. They explain it really well, where children are gathering nutrients. So first of all, I put my trust in Charles, that he's going to eat what his body needs in order to thrive. And so far, it's working. We have a really positive, really relaxed meal time. We eat with Charles pretty much at every meal of the day. We'll eat with him, or he does home daycare where Julie, the day mum, will eat with him as well, and so, or like his little friends will eat with him. So eating's always a really positive thing. It's really enjoyable. If he I guess doesn't want a food, we don't push it on him, and like we'll explain to the food. So we'll be like, tonight you've got, and we'll point to the food. So you'll be like, okay, you've got some brisket, some corn, some capsicum, this is gherkin, and these are peas, whatever it is. So then he knows what he's got, he's very familiar with it, but then there's no pressure. So maybe he only wants to eat the brisket. That's fine, that's no problem. We'll say, would you like some peas or would you like something else? He may say yes, may say no, but there's no pressure. There's no, okay, you will eat your peas before you have more brisket. Like there's nothing negative kind of going on. I guess the other thing, which I'm still learning, is to take the power away from the sweet food. So don't make veggies negative and sweet foods positive. So don't be like, okay, you cannot have any ice cream until you have your broccoli, because then that immediately goes, oh, broccoli is the yucky thing and ice cream is what I get if I endure the yucky thing. And so just take all of that power away. So I've tried it a few times and it's quite interesting, but I'll I'll serve the dinner, for example, with the sweet treat as well. So like for Charles, he'll have frozen berries after dinner, I don't know, 4 or 5 times of the week, little cup of frozen berries. So just serving it all together and then giving him that option if he wants to eat all the frozen berries, if he wants to eat the veggies, all the food is equal. And so therefore there's no pressure to eat anything, but there's also no good or bad. I don't know if that makes sense. So we'll all sit together at the table, take the power away from the sweets / don't make the veggies negative. When I'm plating up, this is another big one actually, when I'm plating up, if it is completely a new food that he hasn't had before, then I'll put it on the plate and he'll watch us eat it, and then I'll also put some foods that he's familiar with. So when it comes time to him to sit down, for us it may be exciting to try a completely new food, but for him, he can try it, and we'll encourage him to try it. But then there's also all of his safe foods there, so foods that he's been exposed to, foods that I know he likes, so he can still fill up on whatever he wants. So that's really important. And I think a good example of this is the other day, I put spinach or lettuce or something on his plate, and like Christian and I, so my husband and I, we got these big mounds of lettuce, and so he had watched me eat it, and then he takes his spinach and puts it on my plate. I'm like, that's fine, that's no problem. And then I took the spinach and I ate it, and I offered some to him, but because he had just seen me eat it, he tried some, and then he was taking the spinach off my plate, and he probably had like 1 or 2 spinach leaves. But I don't know, it was just we're leading by example. He sees what we're doing, and then he's able to kind of copy us as well. So yeah, definitely be an example for your kids. Positive, no pressure, take the power away from food. Okay, what was the first food you introduced Charles to? I think we introduced avocado, sweet potato and pumpkin, all much of a muchness at the same time. We chose not to do rice cereal, and we've chosen not to do like all of those little sachets of food, so we just prepped our own food, and that worked really well for us. We've had no troubles. Charles has an awesome appetite. He's got quite a diverse palate. He's eating lots of different foods. I don't think there's any foods that he is kind of declining. So yeah, so that's what we did, and we just slowly, as he went along, we increased like the textures, the variety, and then the different types of foods that he was able to have. A last question, do you still breastfeed? Yes, I do. And so I'm definitely doing baby-led weaning, so Charles can finish up breastfeeding when he's ready. At the moment, he'll breastfeed pretty much just to sleep, so it's still like a sleeping cue for him. And so in the evenings, overnight he might breastfeed, he definitely will breastfeed. And then during the day, when I'm putting him down for a nap, he'll have a breastfeed before going down. And for me, that's completely fine. I'm very happy with that because I know the nutrient density of breast milk and the benefits, the immune boosting properties as well. So for me, I'm absolutely delighted. And as he's ready, he'll be able to wean himself off, and then we'll go from there. Anyway, guys, that's some of the questions that I keep getting asked, so I hope that that's been helpful. If you've got more questions, please get in touch. I'm happy to do another video or to write to you, whatever's easiest. Have a great day, guys. See you later.